Inside the Tower of London sits one of the most heavily guarded collections of artifacts on the planet, the British Crown Jewels. This diagram outlines a modern geopolitical standoff. 4 separate sovereign nations, India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Iran, are actively demanding that the British government return the center jewel of that crown to them. The British government refuses. They maintain that the Koh-i-Noor Diamond was legally acquired as a diplomatic gift, officially handed over as part of the Treaty of Lahore in 1849. But looking at the 700-year history of the gem reveals a glaring contradiction. In all that time, moving across dozens of empires, this specific diamond was never once bought or sold. To determine if a priceless, empire-making diamond can truly be handed over as a simple gift, we have to forensically audit its chain of custody. Historical accounts trace the stone back to the Golconda mines of southern India. In its earliest recorded days, the massive, uncut diamond was placed into the left eye socket of a Hindu goddess idol by the Kakatiya Dynasty. In the early 14th century, the Delhi Sultanate pushed south, sacked the temple, and extracted the diamond by sheer force. For the next 2 centuries, the gem bounced rapidly between warring factions. When the Mughals eventually seized Delhi in 1526, Emperor Babur claimed his new prize was so valuable that its price could feed the whole world for a day. During this era, the gem was the ultimate physical marker of supreme power. It was not a commercial good you negotiated over. It automatically transferred to whoever managed to slaughter the previous owner. The Koh-i-Noor was never viewed as personal property. It functioned exclusively as a physical crown of absolute supremacy, awarded only through battlefield bloodshed. By the 1730s, the Mughal Empire was crumbling. Iranian conqueror Nader Shah exploited this weakness, invading Delhi and unleashing a brutal massacre across the city to plunder its massive wealth. He couldn't initially locate the famous diamond. Informants told him the defeated Mughal emperor, Muhammad Shah, was hiding the gem inside his turban. Instead of taking it by the sword, Nader Shah proposed a traditional exchange of turbans to celebrate their new peace. Outmaneuvered, the defeated emperor complied. As he unspooled the silk, the massive diamond tumbled out onto the floor. Stunned by the glare, Nader Shah reportedly gasped Koh-i-Noor, which translates from Persian to Mountain of Light. Nader Shah strapped the newly named Koh-i-Noor to his arm, but his victory was short-lived. He quickly spiraled into severe paranoia and madness, eventually being assassinated in his tent by his own guards. This string of violent downfalls birthed the legend of the Koh-i-Noor curse, but the curse requires no supernatural explanation. It mirrors the inevitable betrayal and psychological ruin that accompanies the violent concentration of absolute power. Over the next century, the diamond passed through Afghan rulers before finding its way back to India into the hands of the Sikh Maharaja Ranjit Singh. Soon after his death in 1839, his empire fractured into violent infighting. The British East India Company saw an opening. Over the next decade, they launched consecutive wars against a divided Sikh state, rapidly overpowering their forces. Seeking complete control of the region, the British moved to eliminate any lingering political resistance. They imprisoned the Queen Mother, completely isolating her from her son. The sole remaining heir to the Sikh throne was Dalip Singh, a child who had taken power at just 5 years old. In 1849, the British presented the boy with the Treaty of Lahore. He was forced to sign away his entire empire and officially surrender the Koh-i-Noor as a gift to Queen Victoria. This is the specific event the British government points to today to claim legal ownership. They codified the transfer as a diplomatic exchange, effectively using international paperwork to legitimize the extortion of an isolated child at gunpoint. When the diamond went on public display in London in 1851, it drew massive crowds, but the British public was underwhelmed. In its original, ancient form, the stone lacked the sparkling symmetry they expected from a royal gem. Disappointed, Queen Victoria ordered the historic stone aggressively recut to align with European aesthetic standards. Over 38 days, it lost over 40% of its mass, dropping from 186 carats to 105, emerging with the brilliant, faceted shape it has today. The recut Koh-i-Noor was physically set into the crown, but the British monarchy quietly acknowledged the stone's bloody history. A strict tradition was established. Only female monarchs or consorts are allowed to wear it, a rule designed to shield the king from the ancient curse of fallen empires. The debate over its rightful owner remains fractured. In 2016, India's Solicitor General actually agreed with the British, arguing the 1849 treaty made the acquisition perfectly legal. But critics like Indian MP Shashi Tharoor push back forcefully, pointing out that military coercion inherently invalidates the entire concept of a gift. The Koh-i-Noor exists today as a perfectly preserved artifact of imperial conquest. Deciding who it truly belongs to requires deciding if modern legal frameworks can be used to scrub clean centuries of organized theft.